Yeah.
Hey, this is James from Vader, and you're watching Metal Wani.
So we are at the Underworld today for the Vader tour. Thank you very much to be with us.
No problem.
Thing has been pretty busy on the Vader camp, so how's the European tour with 8 been so far?
So far, so good. You know, good crowds, good shows. All the promoters have been cool. Crowds have been great. It's normal, good tour. You know.
Nothing special?
Well, they're all special, but it's just been a really good tour. It's just been easy. There's no complaints. Everything has just been fine. It's been great.
Have you guys toured with Hades before?
Vader, probably yes. This is my first tour with Hate, but I've certainly known the guys for a long time.
Yeah.
So everybody's friends, and it's real easy.
Right after the Bliss tour, you are going to Hate Fest with Marduk and 6 Feet Under. Are those festivals going to be kind of quite different from the European tours?
Yeah. I mean, it's a much bigger production because we have so many. It's a big package, so we can do a bit more. You know, well, it's going to be a step up. It's certainly the first time we've done this kind of stuff outside of Poland as well. The Blitz in Poland was a kind of a bigger affair, so we could do some of this big production stuff. And we're going to do even more of it now on the Hate Fest tour. So we're excited to see how that goes down.
Right now you guys are celebrating the success of what is possibly the VS album Tibi Et Igni, if I pronounce properly. So how has been the response from this album so far live?
It's been really great. You know, we've done really well in the 2014 polls. You know, we got covered a lot in the best albums, you know, in the lists of the best albums and stuff.
Yeah.
We managed to get some chart success in Germany, Poland, of course. I think even Japan. We managed to chart in Japan again. I honestly can't remember, but basically it did really well, and the fans were pleased with it, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So what does your latest album mean to Vader?
Well, I mean, Tibi Et Igni means for you and fire. It basically means burn after reading.
Yeah.
But I mean, the underlying theme, I suppose, of the album would be fire. I mean, you can tell from the artwork to and it just fire pretty much makes an appearance lyrically in some way or form throughout the whole album. You know, either hell or I mean, if there's any kind of underlying theme lyrically, it's pretty much hell and fire and all the normal death metal stuff, you know.
What about the writing process? Did you guys approach it differently this time around to get a heavier than usual sound, or was it like the same way really?
It was a little bit different. We did a lot more before we went into the studio. I think that was the main thing, because the last few Vader albums, Pete has sometimes changed things in the studio structurally to make the riffs flow better. But this time we nailed down the structure and we kept it like that, and that way we could record the drums in full takes. We could do full takes. So once it was recorded, it was done, and that was. And it definitely affected the songwriting. It made Pete was then stuck in this structure, you know, so he has to make it's his job to make the riffs flow into one another after that, you know, rather than having that freedom to move things around a bit. So I think it certainly helped focus the album and helped focus the songs. I think it's a much more, like you said, it's a much heavier, I think it's a much more aggressive and focused album.
Vader has gone through a number of line changing on the length of your career since 1980. So do you think this has been a major factor of the band evolution and impact the music himself?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, I mean, you got all the bands, all the new members will bring something new, you know, because everybody's from a slightly different musical background. So I mean, with the drummers, you know, you had after Dosink, you had Dare, who kind of brought a more, you know, another aggressive, quite a strong blast approach to the albums that he did. When you had Mauser in the band, the riffs were kind of really fast and and not so technical like Spider, our guitarist now. You know? So every single member of Vader has brought something totally different to the table, and I've brought kind of the thrashy side back to the band, and so it does absolutely have an impact on the sound and the songwriting, but now I think the lineup is very strong. We're very happy. The lineup hasn't changed now in almost 4 years, which is the longest time for a while, and hopefully it will stay the same for a while longer.
Sure. Like I say, you've been around in the metal for nearly 3 decades. So, what do you think things have changed over the years?
I think the main thing I'd say, I haven't been around in the band for 30 years. I'm 24, but I think the main thing would be that the world has just got a lot smaller. It's much easier to travel, with the exception of a few countries. You know, all these bands that 20, 30 years ago would never be able to play. You know, I mean, Vader or Behemoth or anyone. You know, they'd never go to China to play a gig. They never go so far out. So the world's opening up, and it's getting much easier to travel around and go to all these cool and crazy places and bring metal to new places. I think that would be the main thing I'd say about that.
Have things changed considerably in Poland as well on the metal scene, or?
Well, in the 80s, I know from hanging out with Pete for a long time. I know that in the 80s it was a really hard time. It was kind of you have a similar kind of situation to what's going on with metal gigs in Russia at the moment. You know, you have gigs closed down by the government and official channels. You know, like if you had if the local government had a problem with the gig, they'd send in the fire marshal to shut it down, or they'd find a way to get the gig closed. So, and we actually had a problem. We had some religious intolerance, I suppose, from some Catholics in a town of Poland during one of our last gigs. So it does still exist, but it's definitely it's easier to play shows now. You know, I mean, I'd say the band that has the hardest time playing shows now in Poland is Behemoth. Yeah. Because of the Satanists, really. But.
Yeah, Poland is still very Christian, yeah.
Yeah, but it's become a lot more liberal. You know, it's getting more and more liberal every year, and it's becoming a lot more European. Love the country a lot.
Yeah. What else is in store for Vader this year? You mentioned a few other gigs and everything. I don't know if you can just give us a little.
I can't really disclose anything at the moment.
At all, huh?
We've got the plans. We've got the plans to go. We've got a lot of plans to go to a lot of places, and they're almost fixed. But unfortunately, we haven't announced anything yet. We have announced the plan to tour in Russia this year, but we're waiting on some logistical things. You know, Russia at the moment is hard. It's a hard thing to do, so we've got to have everything in place. And that's really, as far as I know, that's the only thing that we've actually announced. But we've got a lot of tours to go. We've got a lot of plans to tour in South America. We're hoping to go back to the US very soon. And we're hoping we can do something again like Hate Fest or the tour we did with Creator and Arch Enemy. We're hoping to do something like that again soon. But it's all up in the air for now, so nothing.
And you're also doing some show in support of the release of your third demos. So any plan on doing those shows outside of Poland as well?
I mean, it's a complicated one because the songs are actually in Polish.
Yeah.
You know, on the older demos. I mean, Morbid Drive was the first one that had some songs in English. So it's very kind of niche, especially it's definitely something more for the Polish fans than for anyone else. But I mean, if we had enough, I think if we had enough support for it, if we thought the fans wanted to see it, then we'd do it. So nice. We are playing a lot of those songs. Well, we're playing a few of those songs from the demos as well, just to
Yeah.
For the people that do want to see us play some songs from the demos, you know, we have included some of those in the set list. We're not planning at the moment to do that kind of old school tour anywhere outside of Poland, really. I don't think.
How would you describe a show from Vader for someone who actually never seen you before, guys?
I think it's just you know, it's really tight. It's really hardcore. I don't know. It's good. It's great. It's really good. Awesome. There you go. It's just worth seeing. You know, we've been a band now for a long time. We've been a solid lineup for a long time. It's really come together. Everything's really tight now. Everything's really heavy, really crushing. We've got a good team. It's not. We don't have anything flashy. You know, we don't have any pyrotechnics or any fancy gimmicks. It's just no bullshit death metal.
Yeah. Just straight on, yeah.
Yeah, and it's you know we don't hide behind any of that shit. We're good musicians and we try and stay like that.
Cool. So any plan on maybe touring India?
Well, it's not on our. It's not anything that we're planning to do in the immediate future, but that's only because we haven't had anyone come to us and ask us to do it. We played in Nepal before and we had a really great time, and we'd like to come to that part of the world more and see more and do more, but there has to be
someone to get you there, yeah?
Well, no, there has to be. We have to be invited, of course. We're not just going to turn up and say, "Hey, we're Vader, can we play a show?" You know, and also we want to. You know, we need to have enough fans that want to see us. You know, otherwise it's a waste of everybody's time. But I'm sure we'd love to do it if we had the opportunity.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time.
No problem.